I genuinely never know where I'm looking, which makes hiding the Epstein files a breeze.
The Epstein list. I'm on every damn page.
Hello everyone, today has been another terrible, awful, no good, very bad day for the White House, for Republicans, for Donald Trump, for Trump fans in general, which means it's been a brilliant day for regular human beings, people with morals, nice people, because there has been a slew of new articles which are all about how, basically, the P in GOP stands for pedophile. And alongside this news, a perfectly timed new video has come out, it's going viral, it basically compares the Trump presidency to the Real Housewives and talks all about, you know, the Epstein conspiracy. It could not be more perfectly timed. We're going to dive into that in a bit. For now, I would just want to quickly explain to you guys the background behind today's news stories, because there has been a lot. Even if you think you've read all of it, you probably have missed some of it. Now, before we get started, make sure you're subscribed, click the notification bell, like the video, leave a comment if you want. If you like our content, definitely subscribe and click the notification bell. If you like me, then subscribe, because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos on this channel. All right, let's go. Where to start? I mean, it's concerning that this is a reality we live in, but I'm literally spoilt for choice just from today for stories about Republicans being creepy weirdos and maybe pedophiles. It's like I'm playing Uno and I picked up a card that says draw 10. ... stories about Republicans being pedophiles. This is a good one to start with. Megyn Kelly suggests Epstein wasn't an actual pedophile if his victims went through puberty. Now, for those of you who haven't had the misfortune to be on the internet far too long, like myself, this is what you might classically call the Reddit defense, as in any time, for some reason, any time online, typically on Reddit, somebody happens to call somebody who is attracted to people between the ages of, I don't know, like 14 to 17, a pedophile. There's always some fucking weirdo there to be like, actually, technically, that's more ephebophilia, not pedophilia, which are words you wouldn't catch a sane person or even a self-aware pedophile saying. Now, for the record, I actually myself can be a stickler for language. I do think language is important, but I think language is important in the, intelligent, correct, perceptive way, as in, a few years ago, or probably 10 at this point, when everyone was being like, everyone's saying literally, and it doesn't literally mean that, I was one of the few people being like, it's hyperbole, granddad, it's hyperbole, okay? If somebody says to you, I'm gonna kill my boss, he's being a dick today, you can't be like, you just said you're going to kill your boss, but then you didn't kill your boss. What does that mean? It's like, it's hyperbole. If somebody says, I'm literally gonna kill my boss, that is extreme hyperbole. They're saying, I'm so adamant about doing this, I'm swearing I'm going to do it, even though obviously we both know from context and the tone of my voice I'm not going to do it. It is hyperbole. The word literally still means the same thing it always has. Language evolves and changes, the use of it changes. And this point is relevant because the weirdos who go on about a ephebophile are technically correct, the worst kind of correct, but also very much wrong. So check this out. An ephebophile is an individual who has a primary sexual attraction to adolescents, typically those in their mid to late teens, ages 15 to 19. It's so hard to make a video about politics these days and not end up being like, what am I doing with myself every single second? Existential crisis. Anyway, so yes, this label, accurately describes Jeffrey Epstein. However, if we check out the definition of pedophile, pedophile, British spelling and saying, pedophile for the Americans, noun, pedophile, a person who is sexually attracted to children. Now, to be fair, some definitions, if you scroll down or look at some of these articles like Wikipedia or whatever, pedophilia is more specifically designed as somebody who has feelings towards prepubescent children. But the point is, language isn't defined by Wikipedia or by InHope. It is defined by the humans that use it. And we all know as a society that if we call somebody a pedophile because they're messing around with 15-year-olds, what we're basically saying is this person likes kids. And for most sensible adults, anyone who's below the age of 18, and really, depending on how old you are, but 18 and below, definitely kids, you know what I mean? Like children, babies. And there's a simple test for this. If you're over the age of, say, 17, and you can spend longer than 10 minutes around a 15-year-old without wanting to drown yourself in a bucket of cottage cheese, there is something wrong with you. The point being, there is like the literal definition of pedophile and the colloquial definition. And when one of the biggest, most recognizable Republican political commentators is pushing back against criticisms of Jeffrey Epstein for being a pedophile using the Reddit incel defense of, actually he likes older children, there's something wrong with this party, deeply wrong. And yes, I think most people can agree that the creeps who like prepubescent children are definitely a bit worse than the creeps who like postpubescent children. But the distinction is so small, and in this kind of arena where we're talking about people who are leading the country, it is almost unimportant. It's like being like, people are saying Jeffrey Epstein killed 10 people. He only killed 7. It's like, okay, Next in the GOPedo news roundup, we have this lovely article. Epstein emailed Trump's now ambassador asking for photos of child. It's like, oh yeah, it's 2025, we live in hell. Let's keep going. One of Jeffrey Epstein's newly released private emails implicates Tom Barak, an old friend of President Trump and the current US ambassador to Turkey. Barak sent an email to Epstein on March 9, 2016 saying, "Hope you're good. Let's catch up." Epstein's reply is chilling in hindsight, or in foresight. "Send photos of you and child. Make me smile." Now, the New Republic's interpretation of this is generous and you might say, legally sound. They say, if anyone else wrote this email, one could say it was an innocent request to see pictures of someone's kids or grandkids. But knowing what we know about Epstein, it possibly takes a sinister connotation. It's like, yeah, no shit. Once again, the Republican Party reeks right now. It fucking stinks. It honks. It pongs. You can smell the smell from all the way in DC. Jeffrey Epstein was begging one of Trump's senior ambassadors for photos of children. What are we doing here? Ironically, some of the craziest articles that have come out today are basically about Epstein saying what an awful person Trump is. When you have a paragon of humanity like Jeffrey Epstein saying that you are a piece of shit, you might actually be a literal sentient piece of dog turd. Look at this. Epstein said Trump is the worst person he'd ever met. Not one decent cell in his body, Jeffrey Epstein wrote in an email about Donald Trump. And the thing is, it's like that classic Onion article. And I love the writing in this article, it's brutal. Jeffrey Epstein, the man who orchestrated an international child sex trafficking ring to service the sick desires of the ultra-wealthy, believed that he was morally superior to Donald Trump. And he may have been right. I mean... So these are the things he said about Trump over the years in his emails. Recall I've told you I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body. Epstein said that Trump is dangerous. When you're like an even sicker version of a Bond villain, you have like your own private island, but you do even more heinous shit than the average Bond villain can think up of there, and you're out there being like, I think I've got maybe like 4 decent cells in my body. That Trump guy? 0. This is crazy. In the December 2018 message at Summers, Epstein wrote, "Trump, borderline insane, again." And then, of course, get the email that was going insanely viral yesterday. Of course, he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. Another detail that emerged in the recently publicized cache was an offer by Epstein circa 2015 to share pictures of Trump posing with girls in bikinis in Epstein's kitchen. And the articles about Epstein's thoughts on Trump do not stop there. Epstein warned Trump was evil beyond belief and mad after mental health scrutiny. So the message was prompted by an article from 2016 that was titled, "How Close is Donald Trump to a Psychiatric Breakdown? Answer, about 8 to 9 years. The op-ed drew on mental health experts who said Trump displayed signs of mania and posed an imminent danger to the public. So then in March 2018, a New York Times reporter called Landon Thomas Jr. communicated with Epstein and he told him, and basically he said to Epstein that Trump is now scaring the shit out of him and warned the president could well tank the global economy. I mean, that guy was a visionary genius. Hours later, Epstein replied, "He feels alone and is nuts. I told everyone from day one, evil beyond belief, mad, and most thought I was speaking metaphorically. It's obvious he could crack. Stormy Daniels, lies after lies after lies." And there is another damning email that's talked about in this article, rather aptly titled, "Trump's handling of the Epstein case might be the greatest political scandal of our lifetime." Yeah. So shortly after Democrats released a select few of these Epstein emails, Republicans on the committee dropped an additional trove of more than 20,000 that were obtained from the Epstein estate. Several of them suggesting that Trump may have known a whole lot more than he let on. For instance, in another email from 2019, Epstein talks about the prior investigation and charges against him, writing that a woman whose name was redacted worked at Mar-a-Lago. Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period. The testimony of the houseman, John Alessi, confirmed it. He never got a massage. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I want to see the phrase "Trump knew of it" emblazoned next to the White House. I want to see it on banners everywhere. Like, this is like smoking gun stuff. And look at this. Then there are some exchanges that, in a trove of creepy emails, stand out as being particularly gross. In a 2015 email, Epstein referred to my 20-year-old girlfriend in 93 that after 2 years I gave to Donald. If a Democrat politician or even a Democrat streamer was in emails where a pedophile was saying I was giving my girlfriends to him, they would be gone, dead and buried. This stuff is legitimately insane. So yes, this has been a spectacularly bad day for Trump. And before I get to the the viral video coming up for a little bit of a light-hearted somethingness after all this insanity, if you want to see just how bad it has been for Trump himself, watch this video of him ignoring questions about it right from today. What I love about this clip is the fact that Donald Trump looks towards her. It's like some part of his old adult brain is like, "Ooh, pretty young blonde lady." And he's like, "What's that? Epstein? Never mind." His head just slowly I mean, that is one of the current Republican strengths. It's just ignoring reality with just impressive levels of skill. And now, the pièce de résistance on this absolute shit show of a day for the Trump administration is this viral video. It's already got 150,000 engagements, according to Grok, which I guess is believable. Elon Musk's lobotomized robot. Let's check this out. It's a good one.
My principles are like my eyeliner, reapplied and rebranded every news cycle.
My Hot Mess Express lips were made for lying, and that's just what they'll do.
It's just so perfect because this administration is about as serious as a Housewives episode.
When I walk into a room, fake patriots salute me. Real ones think, God help us.
My advice? Shoot first and fact check later, especially if it's wagging its tail.
A vaccine in the arm keeps me up at night.
Oh man, his voice. If it was anyone else, you wouldn't even talk about it. It wouldn't be fair. But his voice is as unserious as he is.
A vaccine in the arm keeps me up at night. But a worm in the brain tucks me in.
The brain worm.
I genuinely never know where I'm looking, which makes hiding the Epstein files a breeze.
This is brilliant.
Enigmas never age, and every day is a wonderful secret, except the Epstein list. I'm on every damn page.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Oh, it's got 2 TikTok outros. Wow. Yeah, we live in an age where, it's, you made this, I made this, it's mine now. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna put my own TikTok outro on this. That was genuinely amazingly well done. I think I like that more than the Muppet video from yesterday. Now, yes, some parts of that absolutely were AI generated, and that's not brilliant. I'm something of a creative myself, and before you say anything in the comments, don't forget it's 2025. You can technically fart into a podcast mic and label yourself a creative. And while I can partly see the positive applications of AI as a tool, I do also recognize a slightly more pressing concern that it's stealing jobs, destroying the planet, and dumbing down what was already a frighteningly stupid society. And to be fair, the US government currently is the political equivalent of AI slop. Garbage in, garbage out. And I am sort of convinced in a alternate universe dimension where Trump didn't get elected, the Titanic didn't sink, and Pixar didn't release Toy Story 4, AI slop also doesn't exist either, but sadly we live in the bad timeline. And I also am a video editor myself, so I can tell that, there's obviously some AI parts in that, but somebody actually put some hard work in there. They also wrote a script. I don't know why I'm spending my time defending this person. And while we're on that topic, I should add that I do think, the AI-generated footage of, migrants holding protest signs was crass. But overall, the point of that video was the comedy script, it was the parody, and, AI does enable you to make that stuff so much more easily. Like back in the day, you could have this genius idea for a parody and be like, well, I'm not SNL, I haven't got a $2 million budget. Oh well. I mean, that's the explanation I always give myself for why the millions of creative ideas I put in my notes app have never been followed through on. And AI somewhat rudely destroys that defense a bit. But I digress. The headline is, our president is a 79-year-old farting man baby who lives on social media, so he's probably seen that video, and the idea of that fills me with joy. I hope the whole Epstein thing, which he pushed himself to get elected, blows up in his big stupid face, leaving it somewhat black and orange, and continues to get worse for him. And if you want to hear about it as it's happening, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you next time. I'm British Chris, and I'm really American.